Welcome to the show. It's Wednesday, and we're still wondering and waiting on pins and needles on edge. What is Bitcoin going to do? And it feels like it's got to be decision time sooner rather than later. And I just want to get right into it, just to jump to the core of what I put up as the title today, which is fear is the biggest buy signal in bull markets. And, it's often the hardest time because you've got people all over your timeline saying it's over. You got major traders that have been completely liquidated after last Friday's event. There's a lot of doom and gloom on your timeline and people saying, wow, the coping is real. This cycle is over. Pack it up, go home. It's done. It's really hard to deal with all of those emotions. And so I really feel for people who are struggling right now on what to do. For me, the biggest buy indicator in a bull market is fear. And during those days, and I said this with Rob yesterday in our lives, and those of you who've been around for a while now, you'll know you got to buy the dips that make you sick, right? And that's kind of like where I see we're at right now until proven otherwise, until we breach key levels and close below those key levels, we are in a bull market. And, the fear and the tariffs is just noise, and that we got to get through that. So today we are going to look at more confluence that shows that Bitcoin and crypto have not topped yet. None of those signals have fired off. And we're going to look at previous cycles and see whether or not we've had that altcoin run past the 4-year time frame. Now, that being said, it's not like history is going to dictate the entire future. In fact, this is the very, very first cycle that we've had BlackRock enter and Wall Street as a major part of crypto, right? We're maturing as an industry. So no one cycle is ever going to be the same, but they do sort of point to like what's happened in the past and what could happen in the future. Also, yesterday I jumped on here and I said, that this could be, just as Raoul Pal said, actually, that made so much sense to me. It could be that, liquidity is the biggest driver of markets. And if liquidity is lagging because the Fed lowered rates a lot later than we expected, then that could be a major reason as to why we haven't seen that big altcoin season yet and why Bitcoin is stalling out here. So for me, I can just see it in my head now. I just sat with Kevin O'Leary last time we had these tariffs, right, on my podcast, and he was talking about Bitcoin's back at 100,000 and the tariffs were just noise. I honestly really feel like that's where we're going to be, but I don't have to rely on my feelings. I literally ask one of the best chartists in this entire Web3 space, who we have here on the YouTube Monday through Friday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, for you to take you through these charts and to look at just what's going on. So I see Graham. What's up, man? It's so good to have you on. I love the good vibes. And not many people show up when times are like this, but the people who do, I promise you they're going to be winners. You are a winner for just showing up to these live streams, because this is when people should dial in most. This is when traders who lost money should dial in most. And this is even when long-term investors should dial in most, because you should understand what's happening. And I feel like if you can do this, if you can laser focus during these times, you're going to do so much better than people who don't, right? Because you're going to learn and you're going to be able to develop and hone your skills even more. In fact, I'm going to throw this up here now. I don't want you guys to be this guy who mines and works so hard to get through the wall to reach those diamonds, right? Or gold, or whatever you want it to be, and then turns around and gives up just very at the brink of success, just because you're seeing people's emotions run wild on your timeline, right? And maybe you're feeling it too, and that's normal. I mean, it's never an easy thing to buy when there's fear, but it's oftentimes the best time to do it. And so that's why I want to make sure to get this out to whoever will come to watch. I see Real Ice Bear. What's up, man? Here to learn. That's just it. That is so on point. Like, I'm really proud of you guys for showing up each and every day to this. Another thing I just want to remind you is this is global liquidity. Okay. Tom Lee, the chairman of BitMine, which is the Ethereum treasury company, Arthur Hayes, so many were sharing this. Global liquidity isn't set to peak until 2026. And it really is the driver of all markets. Jerome Powell, our buddy, the head of the Fed, just got on yesterday and announced, this is huge. And I'm actually kind of shocked why markets aren't really reacting to this, but he just announced that they're going to stop quantitative tightening, meaning we're going to stop extracting liquidity from the market, and we're going to get into quantitative easing, which means injecting money into the markets. And that is when we see a risk on environment flourish. And we're just now starting that. How can people be bearish when we're just now starting that? It kind of blows my mind. Also want to share this by Anthony Pompliano. The entire world was not predicting a stock market crash in 1929, 2000, or 2008. the more people predict it, the less likely it is to happen. And I'm just pointing this out as kind of like a contrarian vision to the fact that like literally so many people are saying that it's probably most likely over now. It's crazy to me. So I'm not of that mentality. And, you know, until proven otherwise, I'm going to be here and I'm going to tell you guys I'm buying the dip. I am buying the dip that makes me sick. Okay. So on that note, let's get into some charts with Rob. Rob, how you doing? I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good today. It sounds like you're doing pretty good today.
Yeah, you know, I guess I'm like, people call me a perma bear, eternal optimist, or whatever it may be. But, you know, like, this is the time, like the thumbnail says, this is for me the time when you really get rich in a cycle, because the money is made in the buying, right? Also in the selling. But if you get those good buy prices and you have high conviction in what you're like, for me, if it turns out that for whatever reason, a low probability we enter a bear market, I'm prepared to hold, right? I just I have some high conviction bets that are in my long-term portfolio, but it's all about having a strategy and being able to pivot. Right now, for me, I'm bullish and I'm going to make sure that people know that. And that's just it. So I don't know. I'd like to get your opinion on the market, on everything that's happened. Where do you think we're at?
I think we're in a good stage of waiting for signals to put more in the market spot wise. Day trading wise, it's always the same. It goes up and down, and you make profits in the short term. Long term wise, I mean, Bitcoin we all know is going to keep on going up long term wise, no matter what. There's always going to be
Right.
pullbacks. There's always bear markets. Those are the best times to invest if you have as long as you have side capital. But alts, I'm going to sit there and say they do look scary. Like if you look at altcoins, they do look scary. There is a reason to sit there and go, oh man, this is, especially
Yeah.
if you bought a month or two ago, anticipating a giant alt season happening right now, which I think a lot were. So
Right.
we could still have that too, and we're going to kind of look over that as well too, and why
Right.
we have that still.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just also like, I think it's so easy to get caught up in those emotions. You know, I've seen Charles Hoskinson came out and said that he still expects is a bad word in this. He still predicts, okay, that we could get a 250K Bitcoin by the end of the year. So does Kevin O'Leary, as well as Arthur Hayes, the former CEO of BitMEX, as well as the chairman of Bitmine, Tom Lee. They're all brilliant minds. So for me, it's kind of like, and they also predict, Tom Lee and Arthur Hayes, that ETH could hit 10K. And, you know, you have to sit here and wonder, okay, are these guys all saying this to pump their own bags, or do they really believe this because of all of the analysis that they've done in the long-term kind of like bigger picture vision that they have? So for me, I think it's just really important to zoom out.
Well,
But apart from,
they'll pump our bags too, aren't they?
yeah, I mean, exactly. So
All types of stuff. We have, like, if you're investing, you haven't sold your alts yet because we haven't hit crazy highs or crazy gains yet. So if they want to pump
right.
they're pumping our bags too.
Right. But all those people who put those quote unquote stink bids, right, at the bottom at like those levels, they're prepared to probably hold for a while, or that that liquidity is going to come back in if they're going to put that money back into the market and trade it. I don't know. There's also been interesting theories on those people who actually put those bids in down there and bought the dips up on these altcoins. So there's a lot of different things going on. I know there's a lot of talk about Binance as well being like one of the catalysts that sort of unwound a lot of things. I don't know how true that is, though. You know, there's just a lot of speculation about it.
That's all noise to me. I say stick to the charts and stick to a strategy. The more you block that stuff out, the better your outcome usually becomes. So,
Right.
and as long as you have a plan on no
100%.
matter what, and you're not using the biggest thing is not being on low leverage long term. If you're going to leverage trade, make it a trading plan, not a investing plan.
Right.
And then also too, if you have something long term, you should be happy for these times, because I know I had zero long terms before Friday. And when Friday happened, that's actually when I was like, my phone was dying, and I had to kick my daughter off her phone charger. I'm like, give me that phone charger. I plugged my phone in. I'm sitting there trying to get on whatever exchange. I have 3 exchanges that I use. I'm sitting there trying to get on there and make sure I buy everything that I could at that time. I'm like, if I'm going to buy, this is going to be the time to buy. And
Exactly.
that
That's it.
was my dip buy. So am I
Yeah.
into my bags right now? No, not right now, because now I can just use my strategy of waiting for a break above a certain level or some strength and add to them that way. And
Right.
I'm going back to leverage trading again, to where, well, I was leverage trading at that time too, and it worked out really well for me. But at this time now, I can sit there and start day trading again.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. And I was buying up the dip too, and I'm prepared to hold. And I'm of that mentality. So hey, Jasic, what's up? Nice to hear from you too. Let's go. Let's get the good vibes rolling. All the real ones are on this stream. all the ones who are in it to win it. So Rob, let's pull up your charts then.
All right.
Go ahead and add that to the screen. And let's see what we're working with here.
We'll start with, I'm actually not going to start with Bitcoin. I'm actually going to start with the Russell 2000.
All right.
Just because Bitcoin hasn't really done anything. If I get, I'm going to sound like somebody on repeat, basically. We're going back down and touching support again. We're above the 1-day SMA 200. We haven't broken above the 9. It's all the same thing. So really, Bitcoin's, anything updates on Bitcoins in the low time frame that's not really doing anything.
Right. And just to refresh, I don't know if you have to go back to a chart to look at it, but what are some of those critical levels? Like how low could Bitcoin drop and we could still say, okay, that doesn't constitute a bear market yet?
We'll pull up a chart again that for later because I don't have them memorized.
Okay. We'll look at that later, but I think that's what a lot of people are wondering. I just off memory, like of what I've seen and who people I've talked to, you know, we could even go into the low 90s as long as we don't close below like something about 100,000. And yeah, we'll get back to that. But let's look at this Russell 2000 here.
So what is the Russell 2000? The Russell 2000 is 2,000 stocks that are a little bit higher risk. They're risk on trading. So what risk on trading means is higher risk trades are going to have a higher probability to work out. Risk off trading is more stuff like the Mag 10, your Nevadas, your golds is more of a risk off trading. So this is what we're kind of looking at right here. And yesterday, a lot of people were sitting there talking about the 4-year cycle. So actually what I did was I paired these green lines and the Bitcoin halving. This is your 4-year cycle and how it works since Bitcoin's been alive, which isn't very long. You got to remember that as well too. Bitcoin's still basically I'm not going to call it a baby anymore, but it's now a teenager. It's very, very young compared to the rest of the market. So it's not very much good information to go off in the past. So what we're basically going to be looking at right here is back in the 2014 Bitcoin top area, the Russell 2000 actually went up and kept going up afterwards for a good till June 15th and then dropped off. You go into 2018 and the more and more Bitcoin and the markets mature, it seems like it follows the stock market even more, in my opinion, in a sort of sense.
Right.
So now we're looking at this right here. We have 2017, whenever we had a little drop off right afterwards, but then we made up a new higher high, and then we had our crash, and that was in 2018. So can our cycles go past and this is the 4-year, the profit end right here. That means the 4-year cycle end. And this one here was last cycle was basically perfect. A 4-year cycle end, boom, it crashed. It didn't come back.
Right. So by how long did we go extend? I mean, these last 2 cycles, it looks like they extended pretty far past the 4-year cycle for as far as stocks are concerned, right? These other 2 cycles.
Yep, let's go ahead and measure it. 378 days for the 2000 and
wow, 1 year.
Okay. And this one here was 224 days.
Okay, so that actually, guys, we love this word, but confluence, like if we're looking at the global liquidity set to potentially peak in mid-2026, this would make a lot of sense that we would continue on in somewhere in that range, right? And I'm talking to like maybe spring, summer. Trump is going to replace the Fed with a new Jerome Powell, right? That's more aligned with his administration, most likely in May. So there's so many different things that would make a lot of sense for me to see something like this. So yeah, just want to shout out Victor. Thank you for reposting the stream, guys. Thanks for the love. If you want to support the channel, please do like, subscribe, smash that notification bell, guys, because we're coming to you every day at 3:30 to bring you everything you need to know to be successful. Like what I put on this thumbnail, I really mean it. Now is the time to make the money in this cycle. Now is the time to quote unquote get rich in crypto. It's not when we're raging and people are chasing. It's right now when you do the hard thing, right? Which is show up, make the buys when everybody's scared, all of that. So on that note, guys, I do want to remind you to join the Hive Discord where Rob is posting all of his setups as well as all the talented admins and analysts who used to be a part of the Capital Mindset. A lot of those are also in CryptoGens. Also, you'll have access to just a whole lot more alpha. So sign up to our Discord and also the link for BYDFi to support the channel as well. You get a massive sign up bonus and that's where we're trading. So yeah, much appreciated, guys. All the love. John says best time to buy ADA and ETH. Oh yeah, those are the 2 actually that I loaded up on, John. I'm not gonna lie, you nailed it for me right there. Watchman, good to see you. You put a smile on my face every time. You too, realize bear. A new Fed chair would be one heck of a market catalyst. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of this is actually due to the fact that Jerome Powell has been dragging his feet and they don't have inflation under control. They've been very stubborn about keeping the rates high and not doing the cuts because, I mean, it's kind of like a rock and a hard place too. But still, it has not been great for the market. So yeah, that would be a really bullish thing for him to be replaced with somebody that's much more aligned with the vision of the current administration. So what are we looking at here?
I'm just looking for another stock market. I saw it earlier today. Now I can't find it, of course.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, guys, we're looking for confluence. We're looking to see what happened at this exact point in time previously in history,
All right,
right?
I'm gonna
So,
delete this right here. But anyway, so this is others.d. So this is the dominance of the others tokens, everything above the top 10 tokens. So everything that's not in the top 10 basically on cryptocurrencies. And this is the one that kind of got me crazy right here is whenever you look at it, we had a kind of a dip right here. This is at the end of the cycle, like towards December. You actually had a big dip in the dominance here. Then we went up here and we basically stretched all the way out past the cycle by about 84 days. So this is the crypto market.
okay, so when you say others, you mean everything but Bitcoin?
No, everything that's not in the top 10, the smaller cap
Oh,
altcoins. So this
okay.
is
So
the
this is
dominant.
all the altcoins that everybody's holding, basically.
Yeah,
All of
basically,
the like.
that's what people want to know. In my opinion, that's what I want to know because that's why I mainly trade.
Right. Okay. This is very interesting. I haven't seen this on any other channel, guys. So if you like this, I mean, this is some big alpha right there. So what we're looking at, just to summarize on this first chart over here, is that bright green line marks the end of the typical 4-year cycle, and that's the continuation of these others to the upside, right?
Yep. And you can sit there and see how the others on 2021 actually, and that's where a lot of people made a lot of money. If you don't remember, after the Bitcoin top, basically, there was tons of money to be made in gaming tokens, stuff like that, after the 4-year cycle, which was right in here. That's whenever you got those round the bottoms that paid the bills that went up 5x, and you're like, what? How do you take, like, you'll take a position and the next day it'll be up 200%, and that was in this area right here.
And that
So
looks like a blip on the radar. It just looks like nothing, but those massive gains happen in that like wave up,
yeah, because I
right?
remember I got kicked off Binance at that, like, right around in here, and when I went on KuCoin, and there was so much money in gaming tokens and whatever token, whatever was going on, it was just one thing after the next, just kept pumping it in that area, and that
Right.
lasted probably till about February, March. This topped out around January. So
Right.
that is basically those kind of tokens, and those usually. And if you think about it, if this is considered the Bitcoin profit taking cycle, if Bitcoin's getting ready to take all the profits right here, they're flowing their money into something else to make money, and that kind of makes sense. Being logical about it, so that's really
Right.
exciting.
Right. Yeah. And so when was this? That was heading into like the later months, like January, February. Is that when that was?
Yeah, January, February. I remember it kind of lasted up till about March. Me actually trading them, the little
Mhm.
leftovers, and
Mhm.
then that's whenever. So like right here was basically whenever it ended. So that was April, which
Yeah.
it was right before sell and May go away, so it kind of worked out really well.
Right. No, yeah, absolutely. Now I remember that. How many of you guys remember that are watching? Were you part of this last bull run? Did you make money? Did you round trip? Like, what is your plan for this cycle? Let's make it bigger and better this cycle. Like Rob said, we're gonna have those double bottoms, pay the bills, rounded bottoms, all this stuff is coming, but you can't give up, right? So see, Watchman says, I hope Evo takes off and MYX Dex perp coin like this the exchange tokens and the dexes and the perp tokens, I feel like they are a major narrative, especially with hyperliquid and everything that's gone on has been sort of like the only narrative we've had in altcoins throughout this past like sort of like boring part of the market cycle for altcoins.
Yep. All right, so
Mhm.
here's my next one I want to look at real quick. Sorry, I just gotta get the
Yep.
thought off before I forget it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the first one I start off with the Russell. This is what I was kind of looking for. So the Russell is the looks just like total tune away, where it's trying to like it's right around the all-time highs and just trying to break it. And I'm gonna go back to the Russell real quick and put a line on it as well too. So right here, and you got to remember that this now is more closely following the was it total two? But we're trying to basically retest. Maybe it wasn't total two. I'm sorry. There we go. Total 2. That's where I was looking at. I was
Okay.
total 1. I'm sorry.
No worries.
But we're basically trying to break this all-time high in total 2. This is everything excluding Bitcoin. This is all everything in the top 10 excluding Bitcoin. And it looks just basically close like the Russell, but the Russell is already broken out. Where whenever I go back, I'll show you where the total 2 kind of needs to break this area, get above here, break it into a new all-time high. And you can kind of look how on this one here, we didn't in the cycles, we didn't really have the bump up like the Russell, but this is
Right.
more looking similar to the Russell as of right now. And the Russells you kind of compare to the altcoin market in a way, because the Russells on the stock market's risk on, and the altcoin market's more risk on than Bitcoin.
Right. No, absolutely. Altcoin market is, they're like tech stocks or something, you know, they're like startups, tech startups,
Yep.
essentially.
That's what the Russell basically is with stock
Mm-hmm.
market. So
Right.
now
Right.
look at this right here. You can kind of see that it almost looks the same. And we're trying to, but we already broke out of that major
Wow.
resistance.
That looks very similar. Very
So,
similar.
yeah, it looks very similar. So the question you got to ask yourself is: Total 2 going to follow a Russell and get broken out of this resistance? And whenever people are going to hit the reverse button and become all of a sudden bullish. So this might be a leading indicator this is the leading indicator that could be leading us into the next stage of the bull or into the stage of the bull for the alt market. I'm gonna have to say to it.
Right. No, really interesting. I haven't seen this kind of analysis anywhere else. And that seems to be like a very strong level of resistance that if we were to break that, I'd be like, blue skies, right?
Yep. We'll see if Total 3 looks the same. Yep, and Total 3 looks the same too. Total 3 is a little
Right.
bit newer. That's not including Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Uh-huh. Right. Yeah. They're all
Yeah.
right there. I mean,
Yep,
just
they're all right there.
is it not even sort of bullish that it's been sort of consolidating along that level of resistance instead of just being outright rejected?
I mean, consolidating underneath a resistance means it's trying to build up power to break through it in an uptrend is what I look at. And yeah,
Right. Yeah.
trend line and say, is this an uptrend? Yes, that's an uptrend. We got higher highs and higher lows,
Ooh.
and our next higher higher. So yes, whenever you're in an uptrend and you get rejected from a resistance and you're consolidating underneath it, that means you're trying to build up power to break through that resistance to do an S&R flip.
Right.
And
Another point of confluence. And I'm just looking at this and it's just like very bullish to me. Like I don't know. To me it's just like a blessing that we get more time. Obviously, I don't want crypto to crash and I don't like this, but we can turn it around and look at it as like, okay, let's get our ducks in a row and let's get ready. I see John here says he has PTSD from Luna. Yeah, I think a lot of people have PTSD from a lot of things that have happened. I mean, I just shared this thing the other day about like all the things we've been through in crypto. Like it's astounding that we're still standing, right? So like, yeah, it's normal. And I think that PTSD is causing people to just be even extra fearful now as we approach this sort of area for sure. But you are going to make it back, and Rob is the best person to help mentor you to do so. And that's why like we're going all in, and we want to give those resources to the community. And it is very possible to come back from bad beats like Friday or some sort of event like that busts your portfolio. It's possible to come back, and that's what we're going to work toward here on this channel.
And yeah, and a lot of it's just about risk management as well too. If you're fearful of that, maybe you're risking too much money, or if you made some significant money at some point, next time change it. Once you get significant money and you've like debt or something like that, is it some you sometimes you gotta write down what's making you feel that way, because if you're in a major crash and it's making you worry and you don't have money on the side to buy, that usually sucks and makes you kind of fearful. Or if there's something in the background that you need to pay for and you're not paying for it because you're hoping for giant gains, maybe take something off the plate and get that paid off so you're not having that worry or stress. I think that's really
Right.
important. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And diversification a little bit. I know a lot of people got burned by Luna and FTX and things like that. But yeah, it's just key to then take that experience, say like, okay, what can we do this cycle to make it even better? And when we get to that point where, Rob's 10Xs are firing off his 10X Phoenix picks, and all of these things, these rounded bottoms, when we get to that point, let's be ready. Let's have a strategy. Let's like understand how we're going to do this time so that we can take profits. We can come out. We don't round trip, right? And that's what we're going to do on this channel. We're going to keep you updated with everything you need to know.
yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. Whenever things do take off, making sure you're taking profits and handle it well to wherever you pay yourself and you do things good. Like me, for my day trades, I always pay myself and I always take money out of the market actually on my day trading, and I always buy my wife or my family something. So and
Yeah.
for whatever reason, I think I said it yesterday. It honestly makes me trade better whenever I buy my family member something. Not even me. Like whenever I go out and buy, I just bought we had a really old couch. We just bought a brand new couch with some
Nice.
crypto profits.
Some
And
life
it makes me
upgrades.
trade
Yeah.
better. Make it real. It makes it real. It makes your significant other, your family happier, or taking out your family to a real nice fancy dinner that's really expensive these days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. And then you realize some of those gains and you take less pressure off yourself and yeah, you pay yourself.
and it also
So,
makes you more serious too. It makes it more real, in my opinion. It doesn't make it just
right.
numbers on a screen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So
So
we got Bitcoin dominance here. This has been a funny one this cycle. It's almost as if it hasn't been like as reliable as it has been in previous cycles. But it's so what one of the main levels. What I'd like to know first to start off is if we break above, for example, 62% and keep climbing higher, would that mean that altcoin season's off the table, or how would you interpret that? Like, what is your thought here?
if it went above that percentage, that means it regained this trend line that we finally been waiting for it to break forever. And if it bullishly retest it, does that mean altcoins off the season? We have to sit there and look at the total market caps to sit there and see if they're going down or something like that. But that
Right.
might mean we're just back in the Bitcoin season. We're gonna hit that 200K Bitcoin. Money's
Right.
flowing into Bitcoin, so we could be looking at something like that. But we got, as of right now, in the 1 day, the 1 week. Did we close it yet? 1 week, we just wicked to it. 3 day. So you're going on multiple high time frames. We bearishly retested it so far, and we only got up to the 702 Fibonacci retracement.
Hmm.
And that's
So,
usually just a
yeah.
bearish retracement before we go down. But it was just
Right. Yeah. And we're now in a rising wedge, right?
we broke up from the rising wedge, then came back down into it. Like
So
it's
we
almost like a big whipsaw. So it's a very, very, like right now, trying to, like, I could go down in the 4 hour time frames or 3 hour time frame, or 1 hour and 4 hour time frames, and make it look bullish, but lower time frames gets you, it can really fake you out. I've learned that the hard way. I would sit there and try making ideas off lower time frames on Bitcoin dominance, and my
right,
win rate with that was very low. So I just learned to kind of stick with the higher time frames. But you can
right.
sit there and say it's testing support right now, and it could be getting lower, but might not be. Let's look at the 1 day 9 on it. It's been faking out on the 9 basically both ways, but we're bearishly retesting it technically right now. Oscillators, they're flipping, they're basically going all bearish. So definitely a lot of bearish signals, but doesn't mean we can't come back up here and make like at the closed candle area to 382 and make a double top or something.
Right. Right. And so what do you make of this? So what would be the ideal scenario that we could say, okay, alt season is coming, like based on previous cycles where we've seen that drop off that's created just these exponential gains, right? Like what would we need to do? What level would we need to break below to be like, all right, it's on?
I mean, let's go ahead and actually, I got an idea for that one. Let's go back to, I just actually thought of it in my head since you said that. We're going to look
Yeah.
at the halving seasons
Okay.
with
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
And we can look for correlations and how they played out previously. They don't often repeat, but they do rhyme and they do give us something to go off of, like stats, probabilities, and what's possible, right?
Take off the volume. All right. So as we just saw, towards the end of the halving seasons was typically whenever you got those exponential gains, especially on the last bull market right here. And you can sit there and see how it's just trending down towards the lows. So down in here wasn't the significant gains. That was Bitcoin dominance dropping off. It's whenever we started consolidating down in here is whenever we started seeing the major gains
Right.
on alts. So basically, we just need to get down. I would say break the next support level, make a lower low, start consolidating down towards these lows. I would say somewhere at least down in the 40%, 50% range, start getting down in there, and we can start seeing that. And we can kind of see the same thing over here as well, too, where we got dropped straight down here. We came back up and come back down here. And that's whenever those big gains were all made and all the cycles was toward right after the end of it, and where this was all the way down low. So right
So
now,
you're not even saying during this drop, you're saying like mainly during that consolidation period.
that's what I kind of found, and it all happens pretty quickly too. So
Oh
whenever
yeah. Oh yeah.
I
Like
mean,
lightning speed. It's crazy like how many of the biggest gains come at the very tail end. And I'm talking like matter of weeks, right?
yep,
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
It's like 2 months, boom, it's over. It's like, oh, you wait 3 years for this big. Yep. rest of it's day trading.
Yeah, 3 years you build up to this point, and that's why I'm saying this is the time when you get rich in crypto, is when you do the hard work right now and you suck it up and you stomach these big pullbacks and you think to yourself, okay, what is my plan now? Do I have cash on the sidelines? If I do, am I bullish? Do I want to buy the dip? I mean, that's when you just set the plan and you stick to it, man, and that's when you're successful. So let's have a look here. So that's last cycle that happened quite a bit sooner than now, from what we're looking at, right?
Depending on what, like, I mean, last cycle was more like in this area, you'll probably say large caps, and it rolled over the smaller caps and micro caps. So it added more of a system on it. So definitely a lot sooner on all the tokens. But again, I mean, it happens fast. So you gotta kind of think of it as a way as if money's rolling out of Bitcoin, if people aren't pair trading, it's going into Tether, and they're gonna take that Tether and put it into whatever alts they're selecting.
Right. So can we get like an idea of how many days that went on there, or like a time reference?
I mean, it's going to probably line up with the other charts that we just posted. So 126 days on that one. First, that's the second cycle. Third cycle, I would say the third cycle, we probably were good 400 days, but after Bitcoin halving season, that's more where we're at. That's 250 days.
Right. Yeah. Very much lining up with global liquidity peak potential. So that would make a lot of sense. And then maybe we could like overlay in another session that global liquidity and then see, okay, actually, maybe it's not just timing and having and like buy 6 months before the halving, sell 18 months after. Maybe it's more like the macro driving factor, which is liquidity. That's it.
100%. Now I'm just looking at it. Like you can see that nice long consolidation right here before they started breaking up and went into our new bull market for Bitcoin. So yeah, I mean, that's just my case on can alts run after the halving cycle, the 4-year halving cycle, and is it fast? Yeah, it's not the whole bull run. It's not what we wanted. We wanted this to be trending down the whole time, like beginning here, like it did over here and here. We didn't really have that. Kind of went up, but that just means the way I also look at it, that just means there's more money in Bitcoin to flow into alts.
Right. And what about, can we see, remember, I think the last big run with altcoins happened right after Trump was elected. So October, November 2024. I'm just curious to see what Bitcoin dominance looked like during that time, because I think really what we did is alts just rose with Bitcoin, right? So I don't even think Bitcoin dominance was really dropping during that time. It was like November 2024.
Yep.
I think it'd be interesting to have a look at that just to see, like, because my point here is even just a small drop in Bitcoin dominance is a big leg up for alts, right? Because there's so much more liquidity in the market, so much bigger market this time around than before. So yeah, right about there, I see a little drop there. And that drop was one of the biggest altcoin runs that we had this whole season.
Yep, right
Isn't
here.
that wild? That blip on the radar.
Yeah, we haven't even got that low yet.
That's crazy. That little blip on the radar was all of that altcoin season swing. I mean, and it was pretty big. I mean, alts went up, you know, Cardano almost breached $1 and it was down on the floor before. So yeah.
It doesn't take much. I mean, you've got to remember that these market caps are a lot smaller than Bitcoin. It doesn't take much money to flow into it especially some of these tokens can really move really quickly, which you look at Dash right now and some of the tokens that are being pumped right now, they're moving pretty quickly. And it's just not all at one time right now, which is kind of could be blessed because that means you have time to get into something that you want to get into.
Exactly. I'm really looking at this time as a blessing, guys. Like I'm really thinking, okay, the excess cash that I get in that I can invest, where do I want to invest that? And what is that going to look like? And writing the plan out before I actually do invest in it even, because I just believe that this is such an incredible opportunity. And what are your thoughts on like narratives, Rob? Like, how are you thinking of getting prepared for the next altcoin season? Is there anything you're looking at in particular? I know that some people had been talking about robotics and that NVIDIA was pivoting more toward focusing on robotics. And there are a few crypto robotics plays. I think at this point, like any kind of a robotic coin would be pure speculation. But what are your thoughts on like the next narrative?
Oh, I haven't really thought about that too much. I just look at charts, so I actually don't really have an opinion on that one. I hope to hear some other people's on it, but
I mean, you're really good at picking things out. I remember when we were sitting here talking and you said all the one letter coins are pumping now. Like, I feel like you're really good at finding those patterns in the charts and being able to identify those. So is there anything that you're looking at now, or is it kind of just like we're wait and see game?
So I pay attention to what's always trending. So like I always do, I look at Google search trends. I look at CoinGecko trends. I have some, I'm always just looking at what's being trending, and I just get an idea. And the funny thing is about how I think of things sometimes is whatever I think is kind of funny usually plays out, or I'm like, oh, this is really dumb. It's definitely going to play out really well. And
Yeah.
it seems to happen. I'm like, one letter coins. We're gonna like everything with one letter is just gonna run, and
Right.
it actually ended up happening. And I thought it was funny. I was like,
Yeah.
there was no rhyme. I'm like, that's just hilarious. So,
So those are patterns that Rob picks up in trading, guys, and you'll have access to all that in real time in the Hive. So sign up to the Discord and get ready. Like even practice with small amounts, but get ready for when it's time to really capitalize on that. Like you're seeing here. Okay, those periods were like maybe up to 120 days, 200 days, but we weren't running all of those days. I think like the amount of days that Bitcoin is actually trending upward in an aggressive fashion per year is very, very few. Like the days where we're actually trending up, it's a very small amount. So meaning if you don't catch the moves before, or you're not ready for when it happens, you get left behind, right?
100%. I can't remember. I've heard it from other people saying it. I never actually did the math myself, but
Uh-huh.
it's a very short time. Like it's like Bitcoin's always consolidating. It's one big move out of
I
nowhere.
think
Then
it's like 45
consolidate.
days or something crazy like that. A
Yes,
handful of days out of the year where Bitcoin is like ripping to the upside. That's it. That's it.
but when it rips
45
to the
days.
upside, it's ripping.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So this is one of the setups that you're looking at.
Actually, that's I actually already took profits on it. It was posted in group, but I might be getting back in. So this is something that we posted in the Discord a couple days ago, and I just posted YGG looking for a bear trap, and it happened. I think it was on a 12-hour chart when I posted it in Discord. And when it came up in here, closing here, I took position, then went all the way up here, and my
Wow.
alerts off while I was sleeping last night. And I said, and I just posted YGG's moving, move your stops in profit, which is, and I went back to sleep. So and it did and I'm probably gonna get back into it as well too. And this is a gaming token, and this is also the signals I kind of look for as well too. What's kind of popping and going back down? What's getting the volume? That's kind of something like, so. If a gaming token's popping off, I'm gonna start looking at some more gaming tokens and see if that's the next narrative.
All right. Now, I think that would be really interesting as a next narrative because everybody's just so dead fast on saying that gaming is dead, which would make a lot of sense for it to start to rip right when people give up on it, right?
Well, I mean, I think ETH ripped whenever we said ETH was dead this year.
Oh yeah, I never fed into that narrative. I mean, I've been like stacking ETH since forever. I mean, it's like the backbone of the financial layer of the internet. It's the most trusted, most secure. I mean, when people are saying that ETH is dead and they're rotating into Sol, I thought that wow, like got to have a little bit more conviction than that and like a bigger picture in my mind. Like trading is different. So Rob will like ground us and like show us what's actually happening in the charts, but on a fundamental level it just felt like, wow, why are people saying this? And that's going to steer people in the wrong direction. And then ETH ended up drastically outperforming Solana in the end during this time period. So,
Yep.
yeah.
But yeah, this was an 86% move. It didn't hit into my take profits because it didn't actually break out the trend line. But the bear trap got you 80% moves. I think I moved my stop loss.
80%.
Yeah.
How long was that? Was that one day?
That was today. Yeah.
So if people had been in the Discord last night and it had taken a position on this token, they could be up 80%.
Yeah, they could have 86% profits.
Let's go, guys. Let's go. What are we waiting for?
It looks like it's coming back down to retest. So I'm just gonna take my profits and roll them back in and try compounding. So
right. And how do you find these sort of setups? What are some of your criterias?
Well, this one here was just me just going through charts, clicking through it, and looking at. I guess the other day we were looking for bear traps. I was like, hey, this looks like a bear trap to me. So I even have it up in here. YGG looking for a bear trap, and bear trap goes over here, and it did. And I was like, take entry, and boom, that happened.
Right. No, and I love this because we're quietly making money in the Discord while others are like whining about the cycle's over, pack up, go home, bearish, blah, blah, blah. We're sitting here like, no, let's go. Let's go. Let's go and get money on these setups. Let's like learn how to trade, add to your long-term bags. Guys, we're doers. We're winners here on this channel. Like, let's go. Watchman, I see you just applied for Discord, man. Let's go have a party. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to continue this. And guys, after every YouTube, Rob is updating the charts, putting in some that we discussed on YouTube. Go in there and take advantage, and if you want to support the channel, sign up to the BYDFi link below. We were talking about exchanges that are trustworthy and things, and we have direct communication with the CMO, and he's been really great and really responsive. And we're doing a big campaign with them and a big deposit bonus. So yeah, it's time to get rocking and rolling, man. That's all I can say. I hope that I've done my job at conveying that, because that's just where I feel we're at in the cycle. So,
I mean, me as a trader, it's all about entries, risk management, and take profits, whether your risk management stop losses, how to scale in or whatever, or when to take a loss, or how to take a loss on a V bounce or break even on a V bounce or something like that. So for me, it's not about bear market. It's not about narrative. It's about the skill set of being able to have an entry. And I always say that to other people, like, people are always like, well, what's going to happen? I go, I don't know. What's your entry, take profits, and what's your risk management plan? That matters more than any narrative, because you don't know what the narrative is going to do. Like, you have the most bearish narrative and it breaks out. You have the most bullish narrative and it breaks down. So
yes, it's an if that, then this scenario. So what should we tell the people who are in the chat right now, who are winning because they're paying attention during these times when everyone is, not? What should they be looking at? Are there any setups that are posted that are primed for breakout? What should they be doing right now, Rob?
I mean, right now, just paying attention, trying to find the next hype. Give out your ideas. Be willing to share. Like we did this one in group as well too today. We're going back to entry. And just trying to block out the noise and just pay attention to your plan, and don't let anybody move you from what your plan is, because more or less your plan is going to be right over than what somebody's trying to sell you, in my opinion.
Right. Tune out the noise, stick to the signal. You got some of the best signals in the entire space here with Rob. And macro, I believe we're very, very bullish, and we're just getting started. So that is the message of today. Even though not much has changed, we want to make sure to get on here, update you guys, give you all the best tips that we can to help you succeed. And soon it will be easy trading time, right? I firmly believe so. Until proven otherwise, I firmly believe that's where we're headed. So look at this. This is Bitcoin.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Bitcoin right now. So what I saw what everybody else was posting on Twitter. Everybody is sitting there saying this could be a bearish head and shoulders. And it may be, but the one I'm very, so by trade, I'm a machinist. So I'm very technical on things as being perfect kind of sometimes. So the thing about a head and shoulders is your neckline is usually flat. This isn't a flat neckline. This neckline is going upwards. So that's also higher lows. So it kind of goes against the idea of head and shoulders. So when you're getting higher lows like this, and the way I like to look at that is, let me go ahead and get my drawing tool so I can kind of
because you made a point about it being a higher low yesterday, and it really stuck with me.
It comes down, and people bought right here, went up, comes back down, doesn't get all the way quite down, and they're willing to buy more at a higher. So whoever bought here, the people who are buying here, they're buying more right here. They're buying at a higher price. And then same thing right here. Candle closes up a little bit higher, the same. So they're starting to buy a higher price again. Now, there's not much volume right now, but those whales, however they do it, they do it this way, because if they went in big right now, they'll create a bunch of volume and they wouldn't be able to get all their positions filled. So that's the one thing that I kind of think about right now. Is this, because I can sit there and see how somebody's saying that, but that's also a reversal pattern. This is a 4 hour, 1 hour time frame. And the issue with that there is, after the breakdown was right in the 4 hour time frame, the breakdown was somewhere in this area, right? So you're looking for your reversal. Your reversal is up here somewhere. Your higher, your lower high right here, lower high right here. So this is your reversal pattern in here. Now you're either looking for a continuation or something else. So it's hard to sit there and say this is a reversal pattern in this area when we're starting to make higher lows.
Right. That would go against that idea directly.
Yep. So
yeah.
Is it
a very interesting psychology behind it too, to help people conceptualize and sort of like, tune out the noise, like you said. Like, okay, something is different here. People are buying Bitcoin at higher prices than they bought the last time they bought, and that's also very significant.
Then I look at the 1 day time frame, same thing. People bought here, and right now people are buying on this trend line again. So this is a significant trend line right now. These are all higher lows. And after this higher low, we did have a higher high. So we are in some kind of, I can still say on the 1-day time frame an uptrend. Then you
Right.
look at it, our oscillators, a lot more still pointing down, so that's not too good yet, but they're right at the 40 levels. And I'm gonna look at the RSI, which I just noticed right here. The RSI is typically where we're getting close to where we kind of find support most of the time. So we're close to that area. And you can sit there and see how that's kind of made this zone made a very good support area so far this bull market. Our Stosh RSI is down low. We're consolidating sideways. We don't have a confirmed bullish cross yet, so we haven't got both lines up, but now we're kind of consolidating. So we're just tightly watching here for this to start pivoting up, to start going up, and get a bullish cross to start going up. So it's more of just a waiting game. Is it a time to be in fear? Well, I guess, I mean, the market is in fear, but for me, no, this is the time to sit there and start paying attention, start looking for your signals, maybe zoom into the 12-hour. You don't want to zoom in too small because smaller time frames, there's too many fake outs.
Right. A lot of noise.
A lot of
No, I like
noise.
that. I like that as like a takeaway to end this stream now, guys. While you're seeing a bunch of head and shoulders and bearish stuff on your timeline, also just note that these are higher lows and that, that is a bullish signal in and of itself. So we're at a wait and see. We're going to come back to you tomorrow, hopefully with an update. But even just the last question, Rob, like, is there something to this that the more Bitcoin consolidates or doesn't break down, the more bullish it is? Or what would you say on that?
In my opinion, if as long as we're getting the slightly higher lows and there's buyers coming in, then yeah, that's bullish. If we start losing that, and then I can sit there and be like, here's the big level right here that I bet you, I'm not sure if anybody's even talking about it just yet, is the 1-day SMA 200. 100,000. So this yellow number right here. So if I take off these lines, this yellow number right here, 107,288. I think that's the very main level to look for. You want to hold that. You don't off. I mean, we lost it twice this bull market, but then just regained it. So typically, the first time you lose it, it's not really you lose, you regain it out quickly. It's after the bearish retest and going down. It's like, okay, we lost it.
Right, right. So for now, wait and see game, but it's not looking bad. It's not looking bad indeed. Just stick to your guns, guys, and keep your conviction strong until proven otherwise. And we will be now in the Discord here afterwards. Go and check out those setups and just take action. That's all I would say. Take action, and we'll be back here for more tomorrow at the same time at 3:30 p.m. EST. So yeah, really appreciate all you guys, and we're looking forward to another session tomorrow.
Yep, and
All right.
there's really not much more updates than that. So yeah, just be patient. That's all. It's patience right now.
Yep, that's it. And we got plenty of it here on this channel. That's why we're coming to you during these times, even when not a lot of people are tuning in or not wanting to know. You guys do. So we're going to be here for you. And on that note, we'll see you in the Discord, and we'll see you tomorrow.